Welcome to the Million Pound Mission Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Shively, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and I'm on a 1 million pound mission. Now, I've personally lost over 100 pounds, and I've applied what I've learned from my own transformation journey to help my hometown clients lose over 35,000 pounds in just 5 years. Now I'm on a mission to produce over 1 million pounds of results by delivering my best weekly tips, motivation, inspirational stories, and transformation strategies so that you can gain clarity about what you need to do to reach your goals and give you the confidence to take action. And the perfect time to start taking action is right now. So let's do this. This episode is sponsored by you, my friends. I want to be able to keep cranking out 3 high-quality episodes each week, and I need your support to make that happen. Now, you can help support the show by becoming one of my Patreon patrons. Now, by pledging $1 a month, that's 8 cents an episode, and I'm going to earn it, by gosh. It's going to make a huge difference for both me and the show. If you pledge over $6 a month, you're going to get access to my Million Pound Mission live page where I do live follow-along workouts, live mobility sessions, live Q&A sessions, and even a few live podcast episodes. And all of your Patreon support dollars go directly towards paying for my new podcast production team. And they are the people that are helping me produce 3 high-quality episodes every week. Now, we need to raise around $500 a month to pay for those services. And you can check my Patreon page to see where our current monthly donation total is at. So it's all out there in the open. And it's kind of cool that you can see that build up. Now, currently, we're only at about $30 a month. So I do need your help. I'm going in the hole every single month, and I can't keep doing that. So if you can support the show, I'm going to earn that dollar, all right? And to get more info on how you can support the show, just go to millionpoundmission.com, millionpoundmission.com, and click on the Support the Mission link at the top of the page. Your support is so important to me, and I'm very grateful, my friends. Thank you. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Million Pound Mission Podcast. It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude. How's it going out there in podcast land? I hope you are ready for some straight fire this week with episode number 132, The Recipe for Success with Fabio Viviani. I've been pumped and waiting to bring this one to you, and now it is on, my friends. Every once in a while, I interview somebody where all I have to do is just turn them loose and amazing things happen, and that was definitely the case this week with Fabio. This dude is just unbelievable. Now, if you don't know who Fabio is, he is best known as a celebrity chef, author, and entrepreneur. He earned the Fan Favorite Award on Top Chef, and he regularly appears on television shows such as Good Morning America, The Rachel Ray Show, and The Chew. In his journey to stardom, he has overcome some amazing obstacles, and his fire and energy are unbelievably contagious. I want you to check out this episode where Fabio and I talk about hustle and how he's able to produce so many high-quality products and performances. We talk about how Tony Robbins has impacted his personal growth and development. We talk about how he was able to get his mind right and overcome major obstacles like losing millions of dollars and making a comeback from that. We talk about his unique process for goal setting and accountability. And then we finish up with his thoughts on becoming a self-made success. Like I said, Fabio blows it up. Within the interview, we also talk about a brand new app that we are both a part of called DOPPLE. I don't want you to miss that. I want you to DOPPLE me as soon as this episode is over and ask all the questions that you want to ask. And I'm just fired up for this one. I think it's one of my best interviewing jobs. I was really proud of what Fabio and I were able to create with this episode. I wanted to put a quick disclaimer out there. My main man, Fabio, is a little colorful with his language. I don't mind, but I know some of you listen in an environment where that may not be cool. He's very prolific with the F-bombs. He did 25 in 34 minutes, which I was quite impressed by. But I just want to give you guys a heads up before you started listening. So without further ado, here's episode 132, The Recipe for Success with Fabio Viviani. All right, Fabio, welcome to the Million Pound Mission Podcast. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, Adam. Thank you for having me, buddy. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on, and I have a list of questions. I think we could, if you're good for the next like 20 hours or so, I should be able to knock them all out.
Yeah, or we can have like 40 different calls of half an hour each.
There we go. I want to start off talking about hustle, because you are somebody that is just putting out a massive amount of high quality things. You know, how are you able to do this, or what's the key for you to be able to put out so many high quality things and just hit home runs one after the other?
Well, you know, the simple principle, right? Well, it's simple once you learn it, but it took me like 29 years to master it, right? I've heard about it before, and then I just overlooked it. It's the principle of anticipating instead of reacting. Most people spend their life in mannerism in which they react to events. They react to priority, or they react to emergency. I anticipate. I schedule my time. I don't let distraction get in the way. I have clear outcome. I know my why, which brings me to tell myself a most empowering story on why I should do the work. So most people focus on the process instead of the reason why the process takes place in first time. And that's why a lot of people fail. A lot of people get derailed. A lot of people get distracted. If you have clear whys, nothing else gets in your way. Because if I know that if I don't do this, I can't put my kids through college. If I know that if I don't do this, my life will end a lot sooner. Just look at you. You lost 100 pounds. My guessing is that you're a lot healthier now than you were before. The problem is that you might haven't had the opportunity to really lose 100 pounds till the day that you make a decision and you were clear about why you had to lose it. Because the information is there. Everybody knows how to lose 100 pounds. Everybody knows what it takes to get a pay raise, or to be happy, or to have a better relationship, or to enhance your family quality, or to get a better job. Everybody know how. In 2020, in the 2020th fucking century, you know, it's like we're 2,000 years in, and the amount of information right now available out there, Adam, it's incredible. So the information on what to do is never the lack of problem, never the problem there. The lack of application of the information is what bothers pretty much the achievement of everybody, right? So if you start to anticipate instead of always react, and if you start to get clear intent on why you should do the shit that you're supposed to be doing, everything else will follow suit. I anticipate. I don't live in a reaction state. I live in constant anticipation.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I always talk about how your why has to be bigger than all of the why nots that you'll be presented with. And that's really the key to achieving goals. So, we're in line with that. Now, another thing that we've got a little common ground where my story, one of the things that really inspired me when I first started changing my life was Tony Robbins. And I know that you have got hold of all of his stuff and all of his books, all of his materials. So tell me about that, because I'm a huge fan of Tony's, and so I want to know how his materials impacted you.
I go way back with him. We go 29 years back.
Wow.
25 years back. I'm sorry. 20. Oh shit. I suck at math. What is 1999? So it will be 19 years back, right?
19 years, yeah.
Yeah, 19 years back. Yeah, I've been working for 29 years, but with Tony, I go 19 years back. So when I was 20 years old, in 1998, I lost my brother. I lost my brother and best friend, and I got in a funk. I thought I lost all my happiness. I lost my drive. I lost the momentum that I have acquired, because I was working since I was 11. So I was at a good place in life, and then all of a sudden my brother was gone, and I was in pain. I was in a lot of fucking pain. I lost focus on my whys. I lost focus on my priorities. And I started to live in a state of reaction instead of action. I was doing drugs to get me away from my bad mood and sadness every day. And I lost everything I had. I lost my job. I lost most of my friends. I lost a person that I loved then. And it wasn't good, because I wasn't in a good place. I was in a terrible place. I was blaming myself for what happened. And so without getting too much into details, I needed a kick in my ass. And one day, a person that was working with me handed me a book. It was one of Tony Robbins' book. I think it was the book Awaken the Giant Within.
Yes.
And I knew nothing about motivation. I knew nothing about self-help. I knew nothing about being the architect of my own life. But to put things in story short, right before losing my brother, I was working as a chef my very first restaurant. I was working in the back of the house. This guy was working, my business partner was working in the front of the house. We had no money. We were working like literally fucking 20 hours a day, sleeping at the restaurant because we know any better, right? So I'm in a funk. I'm addicted to a bunch of shit that kind of take my mind away from what the real problem was. I read the book. Then after reading the book, I bought a bunch of fucking cassettes because then there was no CDs that I could play or anything. I bought a bunch of cassettes. I was literally working in the kitchen with a Walkman, listening to Tony Robbins courses. And fast forward 5 years after that, I was a millionaire.
Wow.
And there's a lot of shit that happened in between, but I do have to give credit when credit is due. 90% of the reason why I became a millionaire by age of 26 was because the things I've learned from Tony Robbins and the understanding of the application. Because Tony, all he did, he changed my state. He changed the state, the emotional state in which I was on. So once you change your state, of course you adjust your story. You don't blame others. You don't blame circumstances. You don't blame the faith. You don't blame anything. You just understanding that everything comes within and from you. And once you change your state, you can adjust the story that you tell yourself on why shit's not working. And once you have changed your story, and once you are in a good state and you change your story, you can adjust your strategy. And also that's what Tony gave me. He gave me the tools to adjust my strategy. And that's how I did it. And literally in 6 short years, we built a very large business. We sold it for $22 million, which when I was 26 is like fucking $200 million today. So I got a good chunk of that. And then in 7 months after that, I lost it all. I lost it all again. I gave it away. Literally, I gave it away. I didn't gamble it. I just gave it away. I gave it back to my family. My dad had a unfortunate event with a small family business. He got in a big debt. He was trying to please a client too big to be pleased, and he got stuck with the bills of it. So he was on the verge of file for bankruptcy. And within 7 months, literally, I went from selling myself for $20 million to have zero money left in the bank. Right shortly prior to that, I bought a ticket for the United States because I was a millionaire kid and I wanted to do a fucking vacation. So I rented a very expensive place in California that I couldn't afford no longer. And I decided to embrace it. And I moved to the United States in 2005, September 20th, 2005. I moved to the United States with a very expensive house in Malibu that I could no longer afford, zero money in my bank, and zero English spoken.
Wow.
So I landed to the United States and I was like, fuck, what the hell am I going to do right now? And what I did, I got into a bad state. So I knew how to fix my state. I picked up a few more of Tony Robbins things that by now, 7 years later, he had a lot more courses and a lot more lecture that I could do. And again, I changed my state. I adjust my story. I start from scratch again and with no English spoken, no money, virtually no money. Yeah, I had money to pay rent, and I had literally no money to invest in the business. I invented a business, which was consulting Italian restaurants in the United States. I convinced these people that I could fix their business, which I really could have. I saved a lot of money to a lot of people, and I got a chunk away out of it. And within 12 years, fast forward to yesterday, we closed last year about 120 million in sales and 1,600 employees, and we're just getting started here. I am launching a tech business. I invest in real estate. I consult for marketing and branding for probably a good 20% of Fortune 500 in the United States. So it's been a great ride, man. But again, it starts with the state. Then you got to change the story you're telling yourself. And from the story, you got to move to the strategy. And like you said, Tony Robbins has been a great mentor of mine. I actually had the chance to meet him a few times. We're doing some stuff together now with this team. But I think it's all the evolving of the application of anything that everybody knows. The reality is that, it's funny because I had a speech last week, which I think is going to relate a lot to your audience too. I had a speech last week about career day, right? One kid, 19 years old kid, asked me, how do I become a self-millionaire? Just like you. And I said, well, yes, technically today I'm a self-millionaire, but when I was 19, I was a self-idiot, made miserable. I was self-made miserable. And you're fat and, you're overweight. You're a self-made overweight person. You weren't born overweight. You became that way. You're not sad because somebody made you sad. You're sad because you decided to be in a state of sadness. You're miserable fuck because you wanted to be miserable because you keep telling a wrong story to yourself on why you can't be happy. You're in a miserable relationship because you got yourself there. So whether you're a millionaire, you're healthy or unhealthy, you're happy or unhappy, you're in a good relationship or in a bad relationship, you're still self-made. The issue with that is only the one that are in a happy place will brag about it.
That makes sense. I've heard you speak on that point before, and I just love that whole concept of being self-made, good or bad, you are self-made. So when I want to backtrack just one step with all the highs and lows that you saw, because your story is unbelievable with making the millions of dollars, losing the millions of dollars. I know that people.
Actually, I didn't even lose them. I literally gave them away.
Gave it away. Yeah. You bailed out your family.
I made the conscious decision to give, because out of the 22 million that we sold the business for, I only kept a small portion of it, not even 20%. So I literally made the conscious decision to give away 3 point and some million to help my family be settled forever and for good. And because at that point I knew I could have done it, because I've done it before, to adjust the story again, to adjust the strategy again, and going from pretty much retire from zero again. But at that point, I had the tools to be able to do it, and I did it. And now, thank God I did it, because now it seems like crumbs compared to what we're doing right now. But, if I sat on that little pile of money, I wouldn't have what I have today. So, but you can only connect the dots going backwards. You can't connect the dots going forward because they don't make any sense. I was settled then, and I was happy, and I decided to give it all away.
So it seems like to me that you are at a point where you're almost unafraid of adversity because you've handled it before. You've had these huge things happen and you've taken it on, and you've been able to change your state, change your story, and then take action on that. So I know a lot of my audience, they deal with swings, and a lot of it's with like weight loss, weight gain, life throws them a curveball and they have to deal with it, and they kind of put their health on the back burner. So how do you, you change your state, you change your story, you take action, but how do you get your mind right in those situations? Okay, I've got to get my shit together and I need to really do something about this and change directions.
I think that people put their health in the back burner when they don't realize that without their health, there is no fucking burners. Right. So the reality is that, unless you have your health, there is no fucking stoves, there is no cooking, there is nothing, because once you're dead or you're paralyzed or you're unable to perform, everything else goes to shit. So the first business that you take care of is the business of taking care of yourself. I always say, make sure you're healthy and make sure you pay yourself first, because the best way to help people, whether you want to make money to help your family, when you want to be a charitable person, it doesn't matter. The best way to help people is not to become someone that needs fucking help.
Right.
So, and that's probably the best way to help anybody out there, whether he's from a business. I have 1,600 employees. I help a lot of people, and they all deserve more. But the only way I can help them is not to become, a person that needs to be helped. You want to help the poor? Great. Make sure you don't become one of them.
Right.
And the only way you do it is by staying healthy, because the reality is that you can't help anybody unless you don't need to be helped in first place.
So you're somebody that, like I said at the beginning, you are hustling. You're putting a lot out there. I assume you're putting in quite a few hours as you do that. Do you have any safeguards or built-in processes to make sure that you are taking care of yourself? Are you taking time off or vacation time?
Yeah, yes. I schedule my time with my wife. I schedule my time for my physical health. I call it Fabio physical dominance. because I associate fun anchor to everything I do, right? So
Nice.
when I have to take time to study accounting, which I'm taking a short MBA for accounting and business finances on top of everything else I do, I fucking hate that. But if I say I hate that, it's not pleasant. So if I'm like a business guru, like a finance fucking master, it sounds a lot better than be understanding your number. So all you have to do is to make sure that you associate yourself to something that you understand is productive for you. So if you have to take time, what's going to happen if I don't go on a date with my wife? What's going to happen if for a month I neglect my wife and my relationship? You think she's going to be happy? No, she's going to be on my fucking ass every day. And the reality is that the problem, what that comes from, is that now you can't perform in business, because you can't tell me that you're going to have a happy business life if your business life is miserable at home. So what's the part of the process? One day a week from 7 a.m. till midnight, I'm a grown up playing dates with my wife. We go for brunch, we go for lunch, we go for dinner. Sometimes we get a hotel overnight. Fuck it. It's part of the process. If your family life is not good, you're not going to have a good business life. Now, that means if you have a relationship, of course, if you're a single guy, do whatever you want. But if I don't take time for my children, what's the fucking point? And every day, I do an hour of treadmill, 4.5 miles per hour. It's a light jogging. It's not a run. Run doesn't mean anything. You don't need to run to be healthy. Cardio, it's about, 2.8 miles per hour is already cardio. And I need to make sure my heart is healthy. Now, do I enjoy that? Not quite. I actually don't like to walk that fucking much. But since I have to do it because it's healthy, I change my state and I change my story. What's the story? Then now I have an hour of free time to do whatever I want. So in that hour, I put a headset, I put some business book audio version, and I learn in my NET. It's called NET. NET is no extra time. You're taking a shit, takes you 30 minutes? Great. Enjoy your shit. Do something productive in that 30 minutes. Do you want to walk around? Do you want to walk around the block for an hour because it's healthy? Great. Can you learn a new language? Can you listen to an audiobook? Can you watch a video while you're walking so you learn something that enhance the time that you're not doing that? That's what I do. It's very easy, man. You drive an hour every day. Why not learn something new? Instead of listening to fucking Pandora that nobody gives a shit about it anyway, to what music is coming, learn something new, Record the podcast from your car, or do something that enhance your everyday ability to create wealth and health, instead of just fucking wasting time. Like, okay, I got to go to the gym. Let me put a music on my ears. Who gives a shit? Who needs the music of Eye of the Tiger, Rocky Balboa while you're working out? Who cares?
Oh, that's,
you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's amazing. That's,
who needs
yeah, we talk about that all the time on the show, is like, you have to, I'm not a huge fan of like multitasking, but I feel like you can multitask as long as you are focused on the key thing you need to be focused on. So if you can do something mindless, like walking on the treadmill, you don't have to mentally be engaged, so you can take your focus and learn. Yeah.
You can't learn Spanish while you're trying to get an MBA in business finances. I get it. But you can listen to a business finance audiobook while you're fucking walking.
100%.
There's no concentration while you're walking or while you're working out. You're lifting some fucking weight. Get over yourself. You don't need to shout "hoo" every time you lift something. Who cares? Just shut up, be quiet. We don't need to look at you that you're all like in the zone. Who gives a shit? And look, and it's not like binary, right? It's not equal for everybody. Everybody has their own need. Maybe some people do need to listen to music while they're working out. But in generally speaking, I know for a fact that lots of people are absolutely wasting a good portion of their time by doing nothing when they can still achieve what they're doing by doing something else. So, and that's a reality. It's not me saying it. It's just the reality. So.
Yeah, I agree. I see so many clients that I work with that they're like, I don't have any time. And then I have them fill out, I've got a process that I call the lifestyle audit, and I have them fill out, and I actually have them track every minute what they're doing. We find all kinds of time that they can be more efficient and more effective. So it's not just being more efficient, it's being more effective. And all of a sudden they have more time so they can take their spouse out for a date or hit the gym or hit the treadmill. So that's, that's huge. So it seems like you have very defined processes for your life, for your business, for your routine. So what do you have, like your day mapped out in a specific way so that you kind of check certain boxes every day and have flow to your day?
So, yes. So first of all, there are staples of my week. And the staples in my week are the things that no matter where I am, no matter what city I'm in, no matter what time I got to get up, those shit don't move. So for example, I read anything. I like to read books. I read business books. I read, mostly it's about business and marketing and things like, shit like Get Abstract or Mentor Box, right? So every day I always schedule 30, 45 minutes to read, because anything that doesn't grow, it dies. So I have to feed my brain. I have to make sure that my mind is distracted and I stop and rethink about things I want to do and what can I do better. So every day I take about 30 to 45 minutes, which could be early morning or late night. And I usually do this either when I get up, the moment I get up, which is early, it's about 5:30 every morning, or before I go to bed, because in both cases, everybody sleeps in my house and there is nobody bothering me. Then on Mondays, I take about an hour and a half to make the plan for the week. So hour and a half every Monday. I read through my goal. I read through my objection and objective for the 3 month out. I have everything laid out in front of me, whether it's a new business to build, whether it's a new company to open, whether it's whatever it is, it's in front of me, because if you don't see it every day, you lose sight of the prize, and you have to have it there. And every day, 3 times a day, I take 10 minutes to reread my why. So I have a very comprehensive Evernote application in my phone. Evernote allows you to write, folders and files and stuff. And in my Evernote says there is a folder that says weekly goal. There is a folder that says monthly goal. There is a folder that says quarterly and yearly goal, right? So every week, every day, twice a day, I review the weekly one. Once a week, I review the monthly one. Twice a month, I review the quarterly one. And once a month, I review the yearly one. By doing that, you never lose the sight of what you're doing things for, right? So that's a staple. Now, everything else around it is dictated by anticipating what the business needs are. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's the tech business that we're trying to launch, whether it's real estate, the nature of the business need dictate my day. I don't have a routine. I have a routine that manage what I do every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. And that's how I stay on top of things. Now, my daily is managed by a system that I performed for the last 4 years called Slot System, SLOT, that is slots. And pretty much from 20 minutes, 30 minutes after I get up till 15, 20 minutes before I go to bed, my day is in increments of 15 minutes. Whether it's one phone call, whether it's eating something, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a date, whether it's a conversation, if you don't have one of those 15 minutes, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not in my day. So, and that's why sometimes I'm very strict, and sometimes people laugh because the reality is that what sometimes happen is that, they ask me for a phone call or they ask me for things and they say, oh, we only need 30 minutes, but we're going to need you at home sitting in front of a computer. Then I look at what's the earliest available 30 minutes for that is, and maybe it's in like 3 weeks from now, because everything in my journey, everything in my day is scheduled in that way. So I just don't give in when it comes down to managing my life, because you got to understand something, and everybody that listens should write this down. Managing your time, it's complete bullshit. You can't manage your time. You can't manage some time. You don't control how much you have. Everybody has 24 hours, period. So you can only manage yourself in relation to time. Time management is the biggest bullshit in self-improvement ever created. God, I wish I invented it. Because nobody can manage something that you don't decide how much you have. You can manage your money. You can manage your health. You can manage your the glass of wine in front of you. Do you want to eat it in one sip, or you want to drink like a little sip at a time? You can manage your state, but you cannot manage time because it's equal for everybody. Time is binary. There is no other option. So you can only manage your life in relation to time, and you never decide how much time you have. You're only able to decide how to use the time that you have available.
So at this point, I know my audience may be freaking out a little bit, and they know that I'm freaking out because I have a very similar goal strategy. And like I read my goals twice a day. I read them out loud, and I use Evernote and all that. So I'm feeling the vibe, man. This is awesome. So with the goals, I mean, do you have a specific goal setting? So you talk about reviewing them, but what about when you are thinking up that next goal? Do you have a process that you use to figure out what that next most important thing to accomplish is, or that next big dream you want to go for?
Let's put it this way, Adam. I've been fortunate enough that I've literally kicked my bucket list many, many times over, right? And we're talking about materialistic things, and we're talking about emotional goals, and we're talking about relationship goals, and we're talking about all this stuff. And achieving a big goal is only the accomplishment of very small daily tasks that once you look back and you sum it all up, your big goal is achieved, right? So I have a beautiful family. I have a good relationship with my wife. I'm in a good shape physically. My son, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. He's healthy. We keep him healthy with good food and all the right measure and procedure. I have enough cash in the bank that if I want to stop to work today, I could afford it. I have a nice car, although having a nice car, it wasn't really a goal of mine. I drive a really nice car. I have a beautiful home. I have a backyard. I own a lake in front of my house. I have a vacation home. I can fly private planes, but I don't care because to me it's a waste of money. So the whole private plane shit doesn't trigger my interest. I have a passion for watches. I buy some watches for myself. I build schools. I do a lot of charity. I give a lot of back. I help a lot of people without asking anything back. And my next big goal, since most of the material goal, the tangible goal, like I want to buy this, I want to take a trip, I want to do that, I already do them all. So it's exciting to see other people excited, but for me, it's not motivating because I already have them, right? My biggest goal, the next goal is to change the way that people interact with each other and to change the way that death is perceived. See, Adam, I lost my brother in 1998. And 1998, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't fucking Google or Dropbox, all the shit that makes you remember and keep your memory forever. There was none of that. And I don't have a physical memories of him. I have a couple of pictures, but that doesn't really help. So the reason why I created DOPPLE, which is my tech business, is because no one ever again has to go through the grieving of losing someone and not be able to have closure. Not be able to still talk to them, not be able to ask them for advice in time that those advice are needed. Yes, DOPPLE, the tech business I own and we are about to launch, is a great platform for entertainer. Absolutely, it's the perfect platform to create your own alter ego and answer the question from fans and followers and shit. But what I really accomplish with that is to make sure that everybody can live forever. Because if you think about it, I'm doing daily video with my wife that only my kid will be able to see. And in 30, 40, 50, 100 years, those videos will still be there. And Fabio will be accessible, interactable, and available, just like if I was still alive, 40 years old and kicking. Make sense? That's my next big goal. I want to change the way that you remember people. I want to give something for people to hold on and not give up when those people, they are pillars and mentors and at the moment that you need, I want to make everybody accessible because I am the antithesis of social media. Social media ain't fucking social. Social media brought family apart, business apart, people got fired, and there is no real friendship. It's very superficial. And I want to bring 1980s back, man, when everybody used to talk to each other. Yeah. And that's the platform that I own, and that's what we have. that is my next big goal. For once in my life, I don't want to achieve anything material. I just want to change the world, man.
Yeah, and I think DOPPLE is going to be huge because once we die and pass on, all people have is the memories. So you are enhancing that experience and keeping the memories vivid and real and alive. So
and you can interact with those memories because DOPPLE is yourself. It's your online interactable version. DOPPLE is like having a FaceTime with somebody 24/7 on demand. And forget about when you die, which is the reason why I did it. But while you're alive, DOPPLE makes your expertise, your likelihood, and your likeness on demand. How many more people can you inspire, Adam, if you had 24/7, 365 to dedicate to them?
Yeah, it's unlimited. It's limitless. And I'm psyched about being a part of DOPPLE. And so do you have any like spoiler teasers as to when DOPPLE is going to be live or anything like that? Any updates?
So as of today, and in this moment is February 2nd, 2019, or 2018, of course. Next week, you as an influencer are going to be able to be on it.
Right.
And then I'll show you what and how. And then about the end of March. So if you're listening these and it's past March 2018, you can find DOPPLE in the Apple Store and Google Play. And if it's before March 2018, then just so you know, look for it because it's a fucking game changer.
Yeah, this is actually going to be coming out on the 28th of February. So that's perfect timing. It'll be right before DOPPLE goes live. And I want everybody to download it. Yeah, and I want them to find DOPPLE. Me on there. And I'm going to be answering questions, and it's going to blow you away.
Yeah, we might want to think about postponing this for a week or two, but that's up to you. I don't care. But I think it's going to be a lot more efficient if when these air and people listen to our conversation right now, which I hope you're still listening at this point, you can just go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download it like right now. It'll be probably a lot easier, better for you and probably a lot easier for everybody. Because
we'll do that. I will make sure that this is live when DOPPLE is live. How about that?
Done. Perfect.
Done. All right. Now, Fabio, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I definitely want to make sure that my audience can connect with you, follow your story. What is the best way to stay connected to the Fabio Viviani story?
The best way is, follow me on social media, whether it's Instagram, Fabio Viviani, or check my, Facebook page. But really, what you should do, you should DOPPLE me. Download the DOPPLE app. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you find what I say interesting, keep asking questions. I will always have time to answer you guys. Just download the DOPPLE app. Go to my profile, Fabio Viviani. I am the founder and the first person ever that was on it. And you just find my profile, ask away. Your question will be answered, all of them.
Amazing. And it's spelled DOPPLE, correct?
DOPPLE, which is the short version for doppelganger.
Yes.
Which in movies, it's your stand double.
That's amazing. So, Fabio, I have one final question for you. Earlier, you talked about being self-made successful or self-made failure. What if there's somebody out there listening that has been a self-made failure and they just realize that and they want to change that? What if you could sit down and look them in the eye and tell them one or two things, what would that be?
First of all, you got to change your state. If you believe you're sad, if you believe you're fat, if you look at yourself like a failure, everything around that will bring emotion of sadness and failure. If you think about and go back in time, there's got to be some time where you were proud of yourself or happy with yourself. And that's the state that you got to get in. Because when you're in a good state, when you're in an alpha state, there is no problem that you can't solve. And the other things you have to understand is that it's never the lack of resourcefulness. Because for some reason, I still believe that people say, well, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the right education, I'm not in the right town, it's not in the right time in history, the economy is fucked up, the president is an idiot, or whatever, right? So the problem with that is that all these mentioned and these excuses are actually fall into the category of resources. And resources is never the reason why people succeed or fail. The lack of resourcefulness, which is the ability to find resources when you think there is none, it's the real key for growth. If you keep saying yourself that it's not the right time and you don't have the resources, it's fantastic. But people don't need the resources to succeed. They need to be resourceful, which will make you discover potential resources and solution when on the table, the cards are not playing in your favor. Does it make sense?
Yeah. You know, that, Fabio, I think that you just put an end cap on an amazing 30-minute interview, man. And I just want to thank you so much for taking some time to bring your special brand of Fabio Viviani energy to me, my audience. I just think the fire and the passion that you bring to life is just contagious. And I can't wait to follow your story and see what you do with DOPPLE, man. I'm so fired up about it. I'm just very, very excited and appreciative, my friend.
By the way, the last month and a half, I lost 15 pounds because I said so. Now, let's go listen to this podcast. And when you hang up, let's go lose some motherfucking pounds. A million pounds, we got to lose them. And let's fucking do this, guys.
Let's do this. We're going to go to the millionpoundmission.com and we're going to get it done. Now, I want everybody out there to take at least one thing that you heard Fabio say. And I want you to think about what inspired you, what lit you up, what, motivated you. And then we need to take some action. So the next 24 hours, I want you to get out there and take action. And as always, I'm going to challenge you to take ownership over your life and own it every meal, every workout, every day. And I will see you on the next episode. Hey, I've got one quick question before you take off, everybody. Are you ready to donate some weight loss to the Million Pound Mission? I thought so. So I've got a quick 2-step process to make that happen, my friends. First, just head on over to the millionpoundmission.com website, millionpoundmission.com, and grab a free copy of my #1 tool, the Transformation Battle Plan Workbook. Now, this will help you set up your battle plan for the next 28 days of your transformation process. Now, once you complete your 28 days, then come back to the website, millionpoundmission.com, and donate your weight loss and contribute to our Million Pound Mission. So let's do this.